Okay. All right. Well, thank you again.
Of course.
I believe it or not, it's interesting because I see the parallels a lot, but I am recently new graduate as well. And so working in that environment and just seeing all the different challenges and getting to see what the opportunities are out there, I feel like a year ago because even when I was in PA school, I would randomly look up PA positions and see what's out there.
Yeah.
And I feel like there's a lot more opportunities now than it
Hmm.
was even a year ago, let alone 3 years ago when I was getting ready to go to PA school. So I'm very excited to see where your profession goes and
Me
where
too.
mine goes. It's very exciting to see professions grow, especially those that are really just doing something and trying our best to give something to the to our patients. And yeah, I'm excited for him.
Yeah, me too. Me too.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, we're definitely just scratching the surface. I mean, the working population goes up with regular population,
Yes.
and really we work with manual labor,
Hmm.
but any place can really take on ergonomics and strength training and conditioning and mold it to what they need. And
Right.
so, um, you know, it's almost a never-ending pool that we could affect.
Mhm.
And so it just starts with our companies we have now, and hopefully we get brought on to help those people,
Mhm. Mhm.
And so I'm really excited. I'm really excited about the support athletic trainers and the associations within athletic training are pushing industrial, which
Right.
is very exciting. And I'm on a forefront of something, which is what we all dream of, right? And
Yeah.
so it's very fun. It's very fun.
It's interesting to see the how much work has to put in for a profession to move forward. Like I never pay attention to that or worry about that, or even wasn't even under my radar until I started PA school and
Yeah,
started hearing more about the fights that's going on, trying to get this happen, and the forces that are coming against the profession and all
definitely.
of these other things. And I'm like, bruh, I'm glad I
Yeah,
didn't go into politics.
it's incredible what's out there. So part of our program at CBU is being very aware of political the political climate around athletic
Hmm.
training.
Hmm.
And so part of that is every year we go up to Sacramento, the capital of California, and
Right.
we uh, basically fight for athletic training to be seen as a profession in California.
Mm.
So every other state in the United States has licensure over athletic training, except for California.
Wow.
California is the only state that doesn't have licensure or some kind of certification, some kind of government running athletic training. And so being able to go and advocate for athletic training on a political level where I'm literally sitting next to a senator or state senator or
Yeah.
congressman, congresswoman, that was insane. It was really fun as a student to say,
Hmm.
this is gonna be my profession. This is what I'm learning, and I know that it's viable. And so not only did I get to gain confidence in what I chose, right, and just
Exactly.
seeing the research on the effect that we have, but
Hmm.
also really seeing how tough it is to change things within the political system, just like you're talking about. Like
Yeah.
if you have a political obstacle, it's an obstacle. It's
It
not it's
really is.
not something lightly. You can't take it lightly. And so you really just have to be grateful that you get to practice still, affect
Hmm.
those around you. And
Hmm.
it's funny, once athletic trainers get within a healthcare team,
Hmm.
the team really leans on the athletic trainer a lot because we have a wide array of skills. And
Hmm.
so um, being able to start locally, that's kind of what you have to do.
Right.
And it ends up being the best because you get to provide still and you get to build your profession up starting with those around you in different
Hmm.
professions.
Hmm. Wait, so you're saying that other states you don't have a license as an ATC?
And,
Most
so
states?
so let's say I move to I think it's Virginia.
Uh-huh.
I have a colleague that just moved out there. She
Okay.
had to sit for a state board on what an athletic trainer's scope of practice is. And
Hmm.
so I don't know the details of that because I don't plan on moving to Virginia. But if someone from Virginia came over to California, they wouldn't have to show their credentials to anybody. They wouldn't have to prove their education, and they would be able to apply for a job legally.
I see.
And so the danger in that is that you may have someone that was, caught for malpractice, which is a very big deal, negligence, and they harmed a group of high school athletes, right? I'm thinking worst case scenario. They lose their licensure to practice in their state, and they don't have any other education to lean on. They don't want to go back to school. They don't want to go through the rigmarole of fighting for the licensure. Right. And so they move to California and immediately start practicing with no overguiding other than the National Athletic Trainers Association being like, you're no longer a certified athletic trainer. But in California, it doesn't matter if you're certified or not.
Really? Interesting.
It doesn't. You can practice. You can a personal trainer can call themselves an athletic trainer and put their name in for a high school position, which is extremely dangerous because we are also one of the leading professions in emergency care and concussions because we're just excessively trained in how to handle concussions because it's important.
It's the forefront of your patients. Yeah.
Yeah, and so. We're fighting in California. Our platform is really like save our patients from people that don't know what they're doing. And so we know for a fact that once you're a certified athletic trainer, you are prepared because we're master's level. You sit for the BOC exam. You have to have references to even sit for the exam. Your program director has to sign off on it. There's all of these checks and balances. But in California, none of it matters. Right? I see. And so there's definitely a fight for licensure. It's paused because of the pandemic, unfortunately. But there are many committees throughout California, throughout the associations in the nation. So it goes state, district, and national. Pretty much every level has a political action committee. And so California is probably the most well-known, hardest working because we're trying so hard to get licensure. It's not that we lost licensure, we just never had it. And so it is very interesting. There are some arguments within our community of not having it. It does open up freedom. It does allow us to expand the scope and prove that athletic trainers are capable of things outside of our current scope. But the heart of it is patient-based, right? Is we want to protect those kids that have
the checks and balance of you can just call yourself anything. Like I can just be like, oh well, I'm an ATC. Like, oh, did you go to school? I'm not. No, I don't feel.
Imagine if I walked in. Imagine if I walked into an urgent care and I was like, I'm a physician assistant.
Right. It'd be like
it's not only dangerous to the people I see, but it's also like I'm offending everybody that put their time in, like you did, to earn that title, right? And so it's like, a little bit of pride over here being like, no, I took out loans. I did the work.
I'm telling you, man, if nothing else, the loans remind you.
Yeah. You don't get to be 18 years old, graduated from high school and take my job. That's not allowed.
Excuse you. Do you know how I got here?
Yeah. And so, it's a constant fight. And if you're trained in athletic training, I'm confident that you're going to do a great job. And so just proving that to the people that are in charge of creating checks and balances is our fight right now in California.
Yeah. And that the training is the main thing because it's like you can't just do something without the training. I don't care what your life background is. A lot of time you don't have the means. You are not able to see things from the views that an ATC will. You have a certain trainings because it was getting you ready to see the patients that you're seeing for the things you're seeing them for.
Exactly.
So it's just,
I mean, even if you look at some of the easiest, lowest requirement positions in workplaces, I won't list them to avoid offending anybody, right? But even those positions require a resume and experience. So if you don't have those, how effective can you truly be? I'm sure there's people that, break that mold and they can pick anything up quickly, but it definitely helps knowing that you know what you're doing. It does.
It really does. All right. Well, again, thank you. That was like an after party.
Yeah. A little bonus podcast episode.
Exactly. Again, thank you so much and have a beautiful
thank you.
Day. Hey y'all, I hope you're well. Welcome to another episode of Healthcare Boulevard. This is a podcast where we shine more light on healthcare, and our goal here is to provide more options to people looking to choose healthcare as a career path, regardless of their background. My name is Sena Kapomo, and I am your host and creator here. I thank you for tuning in. I appreciate your support. Remember, you can tune in wherever you get your podcast. Without further ado, let's get into today's episode.